If you're like me, you like the feel of Alcantara or microsuede materials on your steering wheel. It just feels really nice. Plus it's not too hot in the summer, not too cold in the winter, but you, like many other people, may feel, well, it gets dirty too quickly and I don't know how to clean it. Well, don't worry. In this video, I'm gonna show you how I keep my steering wheel clean on both my Cadillac, my Porsche, or any car that has a microsuede material on it. So let's get started. So if you think that your Alcantara wheel's just getting dirtier faster, you might not realize that your leather steering wheels are actually pretty dirty already. If you've got a shiny steering wheel, you're not doing a good job cleaning it. Except for when they get really old and your hands rubbing against it start to polish the leather. Otherwise, a lot of people add chemicals and shiny, like detailing sprays and stuff on their leather and just makes it shinier and greasier and oils just build up. But if you remember out of the factory, your steering wheel had a satin finish. That's right. So if your steering wheel is shiny, you need to clean it better. And if you switch over to an Alcantara steering wheel after always making your leather wheel shiny, you're probably gonna have a pretty nasty Alcantara wheel because yes, it does wick out some of the oils from your hands onto the fibers a little easier. And not only that, some people have lotion on their hands or even sunscreen. Don't touch your Alcantara with sunscreen, please. It's really a pain to get out properly. So in this video, I'm gonna show you not only how to maintain the Alcantara steering wheel, but also how to maybe improve it after it's gotten a little extra dirty. And I'll talk a little bit about restoration, but this wheel doesn't need any restoration, so we're not gonna demonstrate that. Now here in my Cadillac, generally I wouldn't even let the wheel look this bad, and it probably doesn't even look as bad as some of yours if you're watching this, but it got about 6 or 7, maybe 8 weeks of neglect. The whole car did, and I am regretting it because there's a lot of care it needs now. And that's mostly because, well, the Porsche has been getting some extra attention and I got super busy. But nonetheless, we need to clean this, and this is a great opportunity for me to show you. You can't expect your local car wash to properly clean your Alcantara steering wheel. In fact, they might not even touch it. So it's up to you to clean your steering wheel and any other Alcantara surfaces in your car. For normal maintenance, first thing you need to do is brush out all that dust and skin cells out of here and try to fluff up those fibers a little bit. Then after that, we need to take the dirt and oils out. So to fluff them up, all you need is a little shoe brush like this. This is like a nylon bristles. It's generally used for suede shoes. You can find it at the grocery store where the shoelaces are often, and the shoe polish. You'll be surprised that after just some brushing and lifting up those fibers, the wheel already starts looking pretty good. Here, this is where my thumb grips, so a lot can happen there. Look at that dust. You can go at it in different directions. This will help pick up the fibers depending on which direction they're laying. But you really want to get the areas you hold on to the most. When you're using a brush like this, remember not to push hard. You want to just press lightly and let the tips of the bristles do the work. So you want to keep brushing until it seems like not much more dust is coming off. Boy, there's a lot coming off the bottom of the wheel. And this just proves how much dirt and debris is in there. Now the other way to tell if your wheel's really dirty is the fingernail test. Fresh microfiber will not mark with your fingernail, but if you take your fingernail to dirty microfiber, check this out. Well, you gotta go the right way. But you can see I'm essentially pulling up the fibers out of their matted position, and it's pretty gross. I mean, you might even pull stuff up under your fingernails, and then it doesn't really go away too well. You gotta brush it out to try to get it to go away, and we're gonna have to use the moist microfiber to get it to improve. Now after you've brushed off the entire wheel, front, back, every nook and cranny, the next thing we need to do is use a microfiber towel with just some good old clean water in my reused bottle with terrible handwriting, but you know what, it works, it's water. So you want to moisten up that microfiber towel. You don't need to make it soaking wet, but it needs to be nice and damp. And then we're just going to rub the fibers and make sure you get all the way around the wheel. especially working those areas that your hand touches a lot. Yeah, the wheel feels a little moist now. So we know we're getting it wet and pulling out some of that dirt and sucking it onto this thing, hopefully. And just keep moving on the towel with the water so you are using clean sections. And remember to work harder on the areas you touch a lot. And microfiber's got its own, brushing capabilities here just because of its own fibers. So it works really well with the Alcantara. And I know the backside you don't see very much, but you gotta work it, otherwise it's gonna be really bad back there eventually. Now after you've wiped it down with your moist microfiber towel, switch it over to the dry side and try to dry it as much as possible. It's still gonna be a little damp after this, but at least you're now absorbing any of the moisture that has dirt on it now back into the microfiber towel. Now if I grab my brush, I'm gonna give it a little brushing, and I can already see quite a difference. It's definitely a lot more fluffed up, but in the areas with the most wear, I can see it still doesn't look right. In fact, I can still give it a pretty good fingernail test. Not so nice, but it does come away easier. So that looks way better, but as I said, this areas are not quite right, so we need to go to the next step, and that is the cleaning step. Let me show you how that goes. For the cleaning step, there's one major cleaning product you need, and that is this, Sonax Alcantara and Upholstery Cleaner. This is the stuff to use. And you know what? It smells really good too, if you like that sort of thing. So this is what we're gonna use. It's a foaming cleanser. Just follow the directions on the back, easy as that. And what it says is, basically I would first do what we did, the maintenance cleaning, and then it says vacuum off. And that's actually another option I didn't go through. We brushed it off, but even better is if you brush it and then vacuum it first to pull up all those dry things before getting them wet. That will also be a beneficial step. All right, next it says to slightly moisten the soiled areas and apply the foam to dirty or soiled areas evenly. Now, I'm gonna tell you that's a little tough because this foam just kind of comes out in blobs. So you're just gonna have to get the blobs on there and then spread them out the best you can, and that's what the brush is for. You see the foam just disappears though right away, but you will notice that the soap has only kind of gotten into certain areas, so you really gotta work it around. And just think of this like a carpet shampoo. That's what you're doing. Before we just sort of vacuumed and brushed the carpet, but now we are shampooing it. Again, use the brush bristles, make them do the work. You don't have to press hard or anything. Don't forget the back side of the wheel. And you might see where the foam is that it soaks into one area and almost looks like it's spotting. So it's important to get it spread around. Otherwise, yeah, it's gonna leave clean spots, and that's not gonna look good either. You want it nice and even looking. So be sure to have your brush handy to brush it evenly and take those spots and spread them around. This is certainly a little more involved than cleaning a leather steering wheel, but like I said, if you've got one covered in oil, you're gonna need to do quite a bit of cleaning on it, but still maybe not this much. All right, once you think that you've done a good job brushing it in, then let's follow the next step. And it says, moist sponge or cloth to penetrate the dirty areas, let sit for 5 to 10 minutes. Wipe off released dirt with a clean and moist microfiber towel. So then we're gonna go to a moist and clean microfiber towel to try to suck up any of this shampoo that we got in there. This'll just get it worked in there. Now, it's probably not gonna dry in 10 to 15 minutes. It's probably gonna still be damp. And plus you're gonna hit it with a damp microfiber towel, but we wanna let it sit and just kind of soak in and absorb those dirts and oils. And you know what, while I'm here, I'm gonna go ahead and do my suede shifter while I'm at it. This gets a lot of touch because I tend to ride with my hand on it. And we're just going to rub it down again. Again, you don't need to be too aggressive with it, but we're just gonna try to pick up that moisture and shampoo out of the Alcantara or suede, whatever, micro suede, real suede, fake suede. All right, it's the next day. Now, you don't have to wait that long, but the steering wheel is damp. You shouldn't really drive the car with a damp steering wheel. It's a great way to make it even more dirty. So park it out in the sun with the windows open a little bit, let it air out, and let it dry out if it's the summertime. If it's the wintertime, maybe take a blow dryer to it, or just wait. That's what I've done. I've waited for the day, and I'm back to the steering wheel, and it's actually feeling a a little crusty. Yeah, a little crusty, but that's normal. Just think about all the shampoo products we put in there with the upholstery cleaner from Sonax, right? It's kind of dried up, and that's okay. All we need to do now is brush it out, and it's gonna start looking really good. All right, so I've got my brush here. I'll just gently brush all the fibers in every direction. All right, so we've brushed it out and it looks and feels a lot better. I'm also gonna take the microfiber towel, which is in its own way sort of a brush. So we'll do that and it should be pretty much back to the way it was. All right, it's looking way better. Now let's talk about the fingernail test. Remember, that's how I said you could really tell if your Alcantara or microfiber suede is not doing well. So let's do a little fingernail test. Look at that, you don't even see it. I'll go the other way. You don't see any change really, except that the fibers are lifted more. You don't get that white mark that you would get before, where you're basically just scraping up all the dirt. So this tells me that we've done a good job of cleaning up the wheel, and it looks really good. Now I can see just a little bit of pilling, right? The idea that the fibers are starting to gather into little balls on there, that's definitely a sign that the Alcantara is starting to wear in that region, and that's where you may want to go to the restorative phase. And I'm thinking about it here. So what is the restorative phase? Well, that last phase is going to be where you use sandpaper.
What?
That's right, I said sandpaper. You can start with something light, like maybe a 1500 grit, but you're probably going to need like an 800 grit probably at the coarsest. And just think of the sandpaper relative to these fine fibers like a fine comb. That's what it is. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna rub off and shave off those little balls of fuzz to smooth it out again. But I think I'm gonna wait to attack that. But if yours is starting to look pretty rough, go ahead and give it a shot. Believe me, it's not bad, but you wanna stay away, of course, stay away from all the pretty parts of your steering wheel, and just gently sand certain areas, wipe it down and see how it comes out. And then of course, maybe give it another cleaning after that, maybe vacuum it some more, and you'll be surprised what kind of results you can get. The worst microfiber steering wheels can really come out looking good if you sand them properly. I know it sounds crazy, but it works. All right, now that my wheel is clean and satisfactory, I'm gonna take one more step, something I haven't done yet with my Alcantara. I'm gonna try a new product. Let's check it out. This is Dr. Beasley's microsuede protection. It prevents staining, lightly coats microsuede, and makes cleaning easier. So I think you can kind of think of this like a Scotch guard for your microsuede. I like their steps here. They're super, super simple. Mist the surface, wipe gently, allow to dry. Sounds pretty easy to me. Now, if you're interested in buying this or other Dr. Beasley's products, you can use my Amazon Associates link in the description below. When you buy using that link, I'll get a tiny cut. You won't pay any extra, and that's a great way to support this channel. All right, so let's give it a shot here. Make sure it sprays. You don't want it dripping wet, but it's got to be moist when you do this process. All right, I think I like that. It is a damp steering wheel, so again, don't go driving with it unless you want to wear gloves, but then you're that guy driving his car with gloves, which I admit is me. In the Porsche, I don't even want to get anything dirty, so I wear gloves, but you know what? I'll suck it up. I've got a cool car, I love it. Yeah, so I'm gonna let this dry and I'll keep you guys updated. You know, I'll post it in the description and the comments below, and I'll let you know what I think, how things went with it, if the cleaner is helping at all. So if you did like this video and now you feel more confident of cleaning your Alcantara, microsuede, Sportex, whatever you call it in your car, let me know. Hit that like button. Hitting the like button really helps this video get spread across YouTube. Of course, consider subscribing and hit the bell if you want to be notified when my next videos come out. I got Porsche content, Cadillac content, and general car how-to stuff. So I hope you liked it. Thanks so much for watching the Jet Fuel Only channel. We'll see you next time.